What's up, everyone? I am your host, TJ Zwarich, editor-in-chief of the Agents of Fandom.com, and it is time for your Tickets to Reality. No Emma, no Ryan with me as per usual, but I do have my other trusty co-host, finalist of Season 2 of The Circle Netflix, my good friend, Lee Swift. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I got lots to talk about, so it'll be good. I'm excited.
Look, the perfect match is over, so we don't have that to dissect deeply. Obviously, we had Brian from The Circle on last week, and he went deep into Vanderpump Rules. But we brought on a guest this week who has a wealth of reality TV knowledge. My friend who we've had on the Agents of Fandom podcast a few times, so wildly talented, she has interviewed all of your favorite stars, from the host of the Podro Pascal podcast, from Collider, from the Mary Sue, Rachel Leishman.
Hello, I'm back.
We literally just recorded last week.
Yeah.
So it's like, see you again.
Well, this is the first time I get to meet Rachel, so I'm excited about that, you know? It's so cool.
You guys, you two have a lot in common because not only do you both love reality TV, but we've both cultivated these wonderful friendships from just a guest appearance on the Agents of Fandom podcast. So I'm excited to dive into this with both of you. Lee, I'm going to throw it to you first because before we even get to the reality TV, you've been busy, man. In the realm of the horror world, in the musical world. What have you been up to and how's it been going?
I don't sleep. Is what I don't. I just require no sleep apparently because I'm working on the musical, which is a rock musical with two friends of mine. Actually, there's a third friend, but he's kind of vanished because he's been so busy. But we're almost done. So
we're not friends right now. He's just a colleague.
yeah, it's a colleague, exactly. How dare he work? But we're finalizing stuff. We've put in for this competition that's here in Dallas, which will give us a 100-seat venue for about 2 weeks, I think. And we should know this summer. It's looking good because one of my collaborators is like, he's so into the theater scene, which I'm not, but he knows them very well. And he was talking to the CEO of one of the biggest theaters and, oh yeah, we put in for this thing. And, oh, that's fantastic. And we've gotten a lot of good feedback on what we've had. Got a children's book I'm writing with a friend of mine, which is all magic and fantasy, which I love. We're about a third of the way in. And then the horror film, which is writing with a lady who's a New York Times bestselling author, friend of mine, and we're doing a horror comedy. And we have the first draft done, and we're going to do a table reading here in about 2 weeks. So exciting, yeah. And then the podcast, which I love. So yeah, it's all good, all good.
My friends are so talented. So, Rachel, before we dive into the shows, what have you been up to? What junkets you going to? What premieres you going to? Who have you been interviewing?
Well, tomorrow, which I don't know. Here's the thing about my brain, everyone. The other day I forgot the words for pet. What a pet was. I said those cats and those dogs that live with you. So that is where my brain is at. So when I start talking, if it sounds crazy, you know where my brain's at. But so whenever this airs, I'm going to the John Wick 4 premiere in New York, so you can look at that date and know I was there. I am seeing Dungeons and Dragons this week, which I'm really excited about because Chris Pine is my favorite Chris, so I'm very excited about it. I'm seeing A Good Person, which is the Florence Pugh movie that Zach Braff directed, where she cut her hair off and dyed it brown. I'm seeing Renfield with Nicholas Hoult as Renfield, and Nick Cage is Dracula.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And then I saw Shazam, so I have to write about all of this.
Oh my God, Shazam! I haven't seen it yet. Oh,
it's really good.
Oh, I can't wait.
It a lot.
Have you? Did you get spoiled in the TV spot, Lee? Did you see the things that are coming, or are you still going in completely?
You're talking about Shazam? For Shazam?
Yeah.
I saw the preview where he's on the couch. That's the only thing I've seen. Is there more?
Perfect. perfect, because something I don't know if it was an accident or if they were trying to get more butts in the seats, but they revealed something in a recent TV spot, and I'm happy you haven't seen it because
I haven't seen
I feel
it.
like
No,
it'll be a pleasant surprise in the movie.
I don't know
I
what it is in
can't.
the TV spot, but I have seen the movie, so I'm just going like this.
Oh,
Yeah, this is a Freddie Freeman safe space. I love him so much. He was my favorite character in the first one. I do want
right.
Billy Batson's Goonies t-shirt, though. I want it very badly. Um, I will find a way to find that specific Goonies t-shirt because I need it in my life. But yeah, so a lot of writing, a lot of reviews. TJ and I have talked about something fun. I don't know when I can say anything about it, TJ.
We're
Ooh,
cooking. We're
it's you.
cooking. Details are still being worked out, but we're
Oh,
working hard to make Rachel Leishman not only of Collider, of Padre Pascal, and of the Mary Sue, but also of the Agents of Fandom. And so we're
ooh,
very
cool.
excited about some possibilities we have going, not only of Rachel, but with her brother as well. And so I'm so excited to talk more about that. And it doesn't really have to be a secret. I just like building suspense.
people are gonna be like, "What is it?" And I'll be like, "It's not that exciting. It's just me and my brother being assholes together." But whatever.
Oh my
Also,
God,
you
I'm
listed my
ready.
credits, but there's also the Fordcast, a Harrison Ford podcast, which has been very exciting because
Neat.
he's been busy, and also he just gave Kiwi Kwan an Oscar, which made me very happy. And I'm
That's
getting my
so
Indiana
cool.
Jones tattoo, so it's all great.
Wasn't that a great
I
moment? That was such a great moment. I thought when because he was a kid. I don't know. I
Oh,
got
I
all
love it.
weepy.
I love it a lot.
I
Me
saw
too.
a
And then
great point
I
on
love
Twitter
it.
the other day, and I mean, our people who are wanting us to get into reality TV, we will. Don't worry, it's only been 6 minutes. But
I got to
This
talk
is the
Survivor.
Oscars.
Oh,
The
yeah,
Oscars are reality
yeah,
TV.
they
the
are.
Oscars are reality TV, and they just happened. And I saw a wonderful tweet that was the Indiana Jones franchise just has this action star ready to roll that they're not utilizing. Why not make an Indiana Jones franchise around short round? Ke Huy Quan is just sitting there, so talented at fighting and acting. Just
Yes,
make this
yes,
I've
movie.
been
yes.
saying this. I've been saying
Maybe
this
it was your tweet
because
I saw.
years ago, people were like, "We should have a new short round," and I was like, "You know who's really good and a great act?" This was before Kiwi Kwan came back. I was like, what if we did one with John Cho? Like, let John Cho lead a whole series. And then Kiwi Kwan came back. I was like, I'm so sorry, John Cho, you've lost your job. It goes
You're
actually
out.
back. It goes back.
Yeah,
Because I thought he had retired. Like most people my age, I thought he was like, oh, I'm done with acting. I don't want to do it anymore. Not like what actually was the truth. And so I want nothing more than for that. It would be, I would cry. I would be so happy. Give me a
yeah.
short round series. Give me a whole thing. Let the people know his name, which exists in the comics but never existed in that movie. He was just Shorty. I would love it.
The thing is, Rachel, you'll find things that are spoken on Ticket to Reality become reality. It's weird, isn't it, TJ? I mean,
True.
we've spoken things into reality, so I'm like, okay, it's gonna happen.
Like we have a good relationship with, I don't know if it's the universe and the spirits and the energy, the vibes we're putting out, or if just
The
like
vibes.
the casting people for the Circle Netflix just actually listen to our podcast and they're like, that's a great idea, let's put that in the show.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's happened like 4 times since this very short time that we've been podcasting, where something we've said would be a good idea ends up in a Netflix show. So we're gonna have to start writing these things down and copywriting, putting these ideas in, pitching
Yeah.
them to Netflix ourselves,
Right.
so we can start paying the bills a little bit here. But let's
Yeah.
start diving into reality TV. Lee, you said you want to talk about Survivor. I don't even know where we're at in Survivor. I'm just here to host today.
You don't even know.
Else. Like
No.
I've been watching Shadow and Bone, which comes out this week.
Oh,
Because I got a review coming
nice.
out for that one, and I just I
Oh, look at her! Look at her!
Rachel's guy Ben Barnes.
I love Ben
Another one of
Barnes.
the
I love Ben
amazing people
Barnes.
she has interviewed. We we're discussing this because another place we've just bonded recently is we happen to be at the same press conferences all the time, and we don't know about it.
This is what I'm so mad about.
Yeah, exactly.
Daisy Jones and the Six.
And so, like, we just happen to be at the same press conferences. We don't know about it until the moderator asks our questions, and then we text each other. We're like, "Hey, good job!" That's so awesome. Rachel reached out for Daisy Jones and the Six article interviews. They said they didn't have any, and then we got a bunch. And then I reached out for Shadow and Bone. I reached out for Shadow and Bone interviews. They're like, "Sorry, we don't have any available." And Rachel got them, and I was like, "Ah!"
We traded.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, it's a great show. Season 2 coming to Netflix. Check it out. But where are we at with Survivor? Tell me the next. What I want to know is tell me the next show that is like our show that we are going to be covering week to week, and I need to watch.
Well, I am watching. Let me talk about Survivor first. It's Survivor 44, and they have really done a fantastic job of keeping it fresh. They've got a new kind of thing. They have I don't know if Rachel watches Survivor, but they have a bird cage, and hanging from the bird cage in each of when they divided all the teams up, 3 teams, there's this thing hanging, and they're like, "What is it?" And they have to go find where usually they hunt for idols, for immunity idols. Mm-hmm. This is sitting in there, and they're all getting paranoid and crazy about it. And there's some, I won't spoil it because you haven't watched it, but
what if it's a human being who's going to die if we don't save them?
Yeah, because they've done this kind of bad, you can get an idol, but there's been sort of a consequence. You're not allowed to have a vote at tribal or whatever. Really cool. I'm still learning the characters, but there's one character, her name's Carolyn, I think. And she's grabbed me because she's so quirky and different, and I just think she's awesome. And so I'm just putting a shout out for her. There's only been I've seen 2 episodes. 3rd episode's on tonight, which I'll watch later because I have to do all my watching after I do all my work. And so, like I said, no sleep, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., whatever. The other show I'm digging is The Voice, which is sort of I don't know if you guys watch that, but really great contestants this year, amazing. And then there's this show that's on a streamer called Traitors, and I can't remember. I should know it. I think it's
Peacock.
I think it's Paramount.
It's on Peacock.
It's Peacock.
It's Peacock.
Oh my God! Are you watching it?
I watched the whole season already. The first season. I don't know if they released more. Okay. I'm obsessed with
they've got Australia now and the UK. Rachel, that's what I just started.
So the UK was first, and then they did the US one. I don't know where Australia falls in the whole
thing. Australia.
I watched the US one.
You're gonna love Australia. I want to move to frickin' Australia because these people are incredible. I mean, they've got this kind of mom character who's one of the traitors. Again, I'm terrible with names, but she just is. I just love this show so much. I want to be on it. It's the same production company that does The Circle. So I need to reach out to them and say, please put me on The Traitors because I just love this show so much.
And now I did interviews for The Traitors, and the celebrities didn't know that they were going to be there with regular people. They truly did not know, and so they went. And so then all the celebrities were like, "Well, I don't need this money. I don't want to win. That doesn't make any sense." And so it was a whole thing. It was crazy. I was like, "You guys didn't know?" And they were like, "No, we just went thinking it was going to be a bunch of reality stars playing murder mystery in a castle." And then real people were there being like, "This money could change my life." So they were like, I don't want to be on this anymore.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What did you think about the buried? The buried thing was the one that got me when they had to get buried.
Nope. I would have that and the one where they're in the buried one, and when I think they were up high at one point, and I don't do heights, so I was neither of those things I would have done. I would have been nope. I don't care.
I'm tapping out. Tapping out. Deuces, everybody.
Is Fear Factor still a thing?
No. They used to film Fear Factor by my old house, but no.
Fear Factor was fucking bonkers.
It was crazy. It was
Yeah, they
crazy.
used to
Like I just
film
remember
it
watching
above
that as a
Castaic
kid.
Lake.
Are you pointing at it?
What?
Oh,
No,
I
I was
thought you were like
pulling.
I
I was
thought
pulling something down.
you moved a little bit, and I thought you were like, yeah, they used to film it like right
Right
there, and you were
there.
just like pointing to
No,
it.
they used to film it. They used to film it at Castaic Lake in California, and so one time my friend found like the logo off of one of their like belt things had fallen in the lake, and she was swimming and doing something, and
Yeah.
she like was like, "What is this?" And it was a Fear Factor logo.
Oh, how cool! That's kind of cool. A little
I
mining for
remember
stuff.
watching that as a kid, and they were just like, yeah, you have to sit in this pit of scorpions. You have to eat these
No,
large spiders. You have to walk across this thousand
can
foot
you?
beam. Like, no, just like not for me.
I think in the contract I signed for the circle, but can you imagine the contract people for Fear Factor, what they had to sign? You will probably die, but you won't sue us. Because it's just like, oh my gosh, some of the things they did. And there's a show, which I talked on in the last episode. Rachel, did you see Special Forces, I think it's called, where
No, I
they had
haven't.
Mel B from the Spice Girls and a lot of cool people, and they put them through sort of a special ops. I think they were there for 2 weeks, but it was really a cool show. If you get a chance, I'm sure
I
it's
need to
somewhere
watch
on some
it.
streamer. It's so cool. It's a cool one. It's a cool one. I would have tapped out on that one too.
No, thank you.
Shout out Mel B, who is also, of course, on season 3 of The Circle, or is it
Right.
season 4? Either way,
Season four. She was on 4.
Yeah, her
either
and
way,
Baby Spice.
her
Yeah,
and Baby
so
Spice, they
cute.
came in. That was so awesome, and they did it the right way in that one because it's like this money will go to the prize pool type of thing. And I think that's kind of a nice way of adding to it and making for good TV. I saw a really cool photo shoot the other day where Mel B's daughter reenacted like all of her old poses and outfits from
Oh, how
the
cute!
Spice Girls photo shoot and stuff. It was really cool. It was really adorable. But
That's awesome.
anyways, back to reality TV. Sometimes when you just see your friends, you introduce new friends. They're all such great people. It's tough to stay on task. My ADHD meds have already worn off. I took them like 12 hours ago, so I'm just running on fumes right now.
Oh, good.
Rachel, what have you been watching outside of Traders? I want to see if there's any of these
My
Venn
Housewives.
diagrams that are crossing over.
Oh,
My Housewives. I love the Real Housewives. When it got like with reality TV, I tend to watch like the Netflix shows. I watch The Circle. I watch Love Is Blind. I watch To What to Handle, because you can put them on and like watch it. Like The Circle is the one I pay the most attention to because you're kind of watching like all the relationship unfold. But most of them you can put on sort of in the background and be like, cool, I got it. I can follow along as I'm doing something else. But I love My
You've got to do
Housewives,
this
and
with Perfect Match.
I do need to do Perfect Match. I know that's on my list, but I love the Housewives so much. I currently New Jersey is airing. Potomac just ended, which Potomac ended with a bombshell because the whole season was all about these women saying, "Oh, so and so cheated. Oh, so and so cheated. Oh, this person's cheating. Oh, this person's cheating," which is kind of always the Potomac thing because one of the wives, Ashley Darby, her ex-husband Michael would like grope cameramen, and they were like, "You can't do that," and it was a whole thing. And so, but then he would be cheating on her with all of these people. And I think they had like an open relationship, and he was bi, but like they never labeled it. And I was like on TV, and I was like, "Hi, I'm so sorry. You guys are in a reality television show. Like, you maybe should have done that." And then people maybe wouldn't have cared, but like you didn't do it, and so it's chaotic. It was a mess, but they got divorced. And so this season, though, everyone was pointing fingers at who was cheating, and one who did it a lot was this woman named Robin, and she is married to a former basketball star named Juan Dixon, and they
Hey, I know
were
who Juan
married.
Dixon is.
Well, so Juan Dixon's ex-wife, then remarried wife, Robin, is one of the housewives of Potomac. And they got divorced because he cheated on her back in his basketball days. Then they got back together, they got engaged, they took forever, but they finally got married, only to uh, for Juan to kind of cheat on Robin right before they got married again.
no.
And the whole season, Robin was pointing fingers at people who was cheating, and then like it's revealed after the reunion that Juan was actually kind of talking. She says talking to some girl. He didn't. They were.
Yeah.
He was having an affair, but so they like paused, delayed their wedding a bit, worked it all out, and got married. But that all happened post reunion. And it was all in the news by the time the reunion came around. So everyone was like, what's going on? And so Andy like intercut interview bits from after the reunion. So then people knew what was going on. But New Jersey is also crazy because New Jersey is leading up to Teresa Giudice's wedding, which we know her brother and her sister-in-law did not go to. And the whole season is kind of them being like, oh, well, she didn't do this. She didn't do this. Should we go to the wedding? We don't know. And it's like, we know that they don't go to the wedding. So it's crazy. And all these fights are happening. It's nutty in a way that like it hasn't been in a really long time. Like for the most part, all of the housewives fights have been kind of like stupid bickering for no reason.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, I'm watching
Little
this
too
because
tame.
yeah, but those 2 seasons, and then I think Beverly Hills is the next one that's coming back. I think it's either that or Orange County. And Beverly Hills, there's a whole shakeup because Lisa Rinna left,
Mm-hmm.
and then the
I hope
Vanderpump
it's Orange
stuff.
County, just so that Garrett can make an appearance in the background of an episode.
And he would because he did admit that he is now real into all of these shows because
I texted him before this. I was like, Rachel's on. We're going to be talking Housewives. He's like, no, I can't tonight. I was like, damn. You basically just could have taken, like, I would have still been here, but you could have taken my spot because I got nothing.
He got nothing.
yeah, they're all nutty. And it's like I watch either like when I'm trying to not watch something I have to do for work, I watch reality TV or murder mystery shows, which I guess technically are reality TVs because it's murder docs.
Yeah.
But when you break it down, it's TV about real things.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Housewives, there's a lot of it, but it is always entertaining.
It's like watching a train wreck. You just can't look away. You know, it's just...
Here's
like,
been my recent issue with reality TV, and I don't think this is a recent thing. I think it's been long-standing. But my belief in love is just dissipating. None of my favorite couples from reality dating shows and all these other things stay together. No matter how much I like them, no matter how great they are, they never stay together. There was... We'll keep it spoiler free in terms of the perfect match. If you want to, if you're listening to us for the first time and you want to hear more in depth about that, we had Brian Clark from The Circle and Sam Carmona, winner of season 5 of The Circle, on our show the past couple of weeks. We've been diving deep into the perfect match, but there was a big thing that happens towards the end that would make you hope the two people are still together. I was watching Love Island USA, and like Love Island's mine and Ava's.
I was just gonna say, what are you watching? Love Island? Like, what did you expect that the couples on Love Island were saying?
Zeta and Timmy, I thought they were gonna make it. Okay, I thought Zeta and Timmy would make it.
Have you watched the first season of the UK one?
Yeah,
because Hannah and Jonathan were 2 people who I was like, these 2 are just getting married and never leaving each other, and then they break up and don't make it. And I was like, that is actually upsetting because they were the one couple in that show that were perfectly chaotic for each other.
I mean, I should have. Speaking of the perfect match, host Nick Lachey. That's one of my favorite parts of that show. Is nobody calls him Nick. Everybody just calls him Nick Lachey. His first and last name is his first name. He's Nick Lachey. But speaking of Nick Lachey, I should have known on the day that him and Jessica Simpson divorced. I should have known that reality TV love wasn't real.
Yeah, you really should have. You should have. That should have been your clue when she said, is this chicken or is this fish? That you were like, oh, it's not going to work out for anyone. Love is dead.
Well,
Like I
instead,
said.
I'm 12 years old watching this show, being like, if the guy from 98 Degrees and Jessica Simpson can't make it, what kind of hope do I have?
Who can?
Isn't that couple though the first season of Love Is Blind? They're still together, aren't they?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
two
they're
or
still.
three that are. The
Yeah,
Love is
yeah.
Blind couples, there's a couple that are still together. I don't know if it's just because they're like, well, we went on this crazy show, we got to stick to it.
Maybe it's in the
Part
contract.
Yeah, one of the reasons I hadn't jumped into Perfect Match was I saw that Shane is on there, and I cannot stand that man. That man is a serial killer, and he will murder again. I don't care what anybody says. Like that man has murdered,
I
and he'll do it
need
again and
you.
again and again.
I
We,
need you to watch our episode with Sam.
yeah.
I need you to watch this show just so you can watch our episode with Sam because, like,
I told you, tell
no
her to come
holds
hang
barred.
out with me. She's here.
Yeah, I know. It gets chaotic
Oh my
and
God.
just like
We all
Sam.
agree, though. We all agree with you.
Shane, Chase, Bartice, no holds barred on those three. Like we
Wait,
typically try and
Bartice?
like.
yeah.
Oh,
Bartice is
Bartice.
on Perfect
Okay,
Match, yeah.
I thought I messed up Bartice and uh, Bartlett. Is that his? What's his name from the first season of Love Is Blind? Who he's with the girl.
I think it is
You know
Bartlett.
what I'm
I
talking
think
about?
you're right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about.
but
Yeah. No.
I forgot about Bartice because Bartice didn't. Oh, that was a whole thing. Love Is Blind. I'm obsessed with. I'm obsessed with because they're
I love
all
it.
so stupid. And I'm sorry to anyone who goes to that show. Like, some of you are like, I'm a brain surgeon. I can't meet people, so I'm going on this reality show. You're stupid. Like, that is so stupid. And they'll go in those pods, and then someone will be like, I'm not feeling you, after they had just done a whole confessional where they're like, this is my person. Like, I'm feeling it. And then they're like, you know what? That's right. I didn't feel it. And I'm like, that's not what you just said. You literally just said the complete opposite of what you're now saying. Like, what's her name from the newest season? The one who married Matt, who also maybe murders people? I can't decide on him. I'm wishy-washy about him. But she was obsessed with Cole, who, like, him and the Oranges girl, they didn't work out. But she ended up marrying Matt, who they don't even live in the same apartment.
Strange. Yeah, strange.
I
Strange.
don't get it. I don't get it. Sorry, you were talking about Love Island. And I just,
Yeah.
Like I said, like I'm trying to keep. I have to keep up with so many different shows for Agents of Fandom that reality TV is more Ava's bag, and then I watch it with her. And other than like The Circle and Love Island, those are like the two that we really dive into together. And then The Perfect Match, we did the same thing. We did for the first time the same thing with Big Brother because that's what we were covering on Ticket to Reality. We did a draft, and so like Big Brother was the thing. I was watching it every week, and I was excited to watch the new episode.
I did terrible on my draft.
You did so bad. He was the Big
I
Brother
did
expert.
so bad.
In our draft.
I'm the only one that had watched almost every episode of every season, know history and all that. And I said, "Oh, I'm going to do it." I was out first. I was like, all my people were gone. But it usually comes out in the summer. It comes normally if they have which they haven't announced a celebrity one because the celebrity one usually would have already happened. So I guess they're not going to have one, but. It'll be this summer. I auditioned for it. Come on, Big Brother. I got a great idea. So let me come on. Because I'm one of those fools Rachel's talking about. Why are you going on a reality show? I don't know. I'm just an idiot.
No, I mean, I there are certain reality shows / game shows. I'm like, I would do well on that. Like, I think I would do fine on The Circle. I think I could do okay on it. I would do good on like shows like Hollywood Game Night. I'm like, I get that is when I get angry. That's when I get angry at television programs. When I watch that and like I will see people not getting easy answers, or like my brother and I are both have decided that Martin Short can never play on my team in anything because I will fight Martin Short because he would tank things because he's trying to be funny, and I'm like, this is life or death. You tell me what actor is on that screen. Give me a clue. Like, I don't need your jokes right now.
Competitive much?
I'm very competitive. Well, and that's why, like, every time I like watch The Circle, I'm always like, oh, I feel like my pictures, unless I wore all of my Marvel and superhero things and Star Wars tattoos in my pictures, if it was just like how I look now, people would not believe like I am a super nerd about stuff. And so I was always like, I would have to be so strategic about what pictures I use so that if there was a trivia round and they're like, well, why does she know what Spider-Man's second aunt's nephew's name is? And it's like, because I'm a nerd. That's why I know. But like,
yeah, they probably
Spider-Man's
how I watch
second
shows.
aunt's nephew's name.
Jeremy. Jeremy
He's just got the one aunt.
Oh boy.
Or like, you know, like
one
Mayday.
job there. You had one.
One job. No, it'll be like, they'll be like, what's Peter Parker and Mary Jane's daughter's name? It's like Mayday. Her name is Mayday.
Right.
They're like, why do you know that? Because she's rules. She's a little red hair. I love her.
So
I'm replaying the Spider-Man PS5 game right now in preparation of the second one to come out because oh my goodness, I can't wait for that game. That's when I'm gonna have myself stream like set up on the Agents of Fandom Twitch page, and I'm just gonna be streaming every day, and then I'm gonna write a long ass review, and I'm gonna do nothing other than play this game for just a week straight, and it's going to be my job to do so, and I'm so excited about that.
Isn't that fun that is our job? We're like when the circle comes out, it's like, yeah, I have to watch the circle and Love is Blind because I might have a think piece that I need to write about. And it's like, I was complaining to my mom the other day. I'm like, I have no free time. I'm going to see this. I was up until 2 writing about the Oscars, and my mom just kind of went, so you're watching movies and shows? And you're upset about it? And I was like, I'm not upset. I love my job. I love what I do. But I'm tired. I was like, it's a lot. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, on paper.
I want to ask you guys, this is not reality, but you're talking about a game. And so it's making me think of The Last of Us. Have you guys watched that? You know, I love that show so much.
So, Rachel, what is Pedro Pascal?
Pedro Pascal is the Pedro Pascal podcast where we talk about everything that Pedro Pascal has done.
Oh, wow. No kidding. So you're definitely into it. But for me, episode 3, because being a gay guy, I was like, oh my God, this is the best. And I love apocalyptic movies and fiction. Mm-hmm. But that was so incredible, episode 3. I won't ruin it for people, but wow.
Oh, I love it. It is one of those episodes, truly. I watch my screeners, and when, like, when Murray Bartlett is like, he's like, oh, the best of Linda Ronstadt, and he, like, says something, and Nick Offerman is like, or when Murray Bartlett is like, oh, who was she? And he's like, oh, it's not a girl. And he was like, I know. I'm like, yeah, you have the best of Linda Ronstadt. Of course he knows. Buddy. It's like, you, like...
I know this comparison has been. I know this comparison has been made online a lot, and I mean this like with the utmost respect isn't even the right word because it's like the best character ever. But I love that his character in The Last of Us is just gay Ron Swanson. Mm-hmm. It's perfect.
He's more Republican, gay Ron Swanson. He's slightly because it's Republican prior to the end of the Bush era. So he's slightly Republican, just like Ron Swanson, because he had the "Don't tread on me" thing in the garage. And I was
when he was like, "You think that the government are all Nazis?" and he's like, "The government are all Nazis." I was like, "That's Ron Swanson right there."
I saw a meme where it was like, I think someone was like, Bill making his town, and it was Ron Swanson saying, "I do what I want" on the piece of paper, and just like
on the permit.
Yeah,
I have a permit for that.
I do what I want. Yeah, it really is, and like I like this show in general. I think it does a really good job of adapting the game and sticking pretty faithfully to it, but also giving like that episode was very different than the game. Yeah. And I really like the changes that they made. In the game, you can play the episode with Ellie and Riley as like a Left Behind thing, but it's not in the actual game. So I like how they tied that in.
That was my favorite episode just because I played the game, but I didn't play the DLC. So, like, I didn't play the Left Behind. And so I got to see, that was the one thing that I was seeing for the first time. And so, like, that was the one that, like, broke me the most just because I was like, all I knew was she said that her and her friend went to the mall. Like, that's all I knew. Like,
And like, but she loved her. They smooched. Yeah, I love that show very much. If it was a reality TV show, I would watch it every week just to see what Pedro Pascal was up to.
Oh my god, yeah.
But I love it. I do have a question for you, Lee, which is about reality TV.
Okay.
So, as someone who has watched all the seasons of The Circle, with the exception of yourself, who is your favorite contestant on The Circle? Like, who is your favorite? Doesn't have to be a winner; just has to be someone who was on The Circle.
Of all the seasons you're talking about, all the seasons,
Yeah.
a personal, one of my very best friends is Delisa, the winner of mine, and I think she played a great game. But I'll be honest, and people may not think this, but I loved Courtney. I just loved his play as the Joker, and then my favorite from season one, which is what I fell in love with. I love Joey. I just love him so much.
He
I love him.
so close to. I'm from Western PA, and so he's from Philly. So it's a bit of difference, but it's the same accent, same Italian